What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. League of Legends is the most played game in the entire world at the time of making this video. And it has been for quite some time now, but no king rules forever. Competitive viewership is on the decline, and it's no secret that League of Legends just isn't growing as fast as it once was. And it's bringing up a conversation that's already in the back of some people's minds maybe. Has League of Legends peaked? Before we begin, pardon me a little bit for the irony here, I just wanted to say that for any of you guys who are into Overwatch, I actually run a second channel where we upload some fun stuff like montages, highlights, compilations of the community plays. It's a lot of fun, and to celebrate the launch of Overwatch and kicking my second channel into overdrive, we're giving away 5 pre-order copies of Overwatch, and it's super easy to enter, just check the link in the description. And if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you don't, smash that dislike. Anyways, let's get started. So the reason why I bring this conversation to light in the first place has to do with an interesting trend from Riot when it comes to releasing their statistics of the player base. Riot actually hasn't released any stats whatsoever since 2014. In 2014, League of Legends had 67 million active players, up from 32 million in 2013, 11.5 million back in 2012, and just 1.4 million in 2011. But it's already 2016 and we haven't received any updates at all. And to me, that's a huge red flag, since if the player base had continued to grow at that rate, I'm sure Riot would be the first to announce it to everyone. Companies love to release statistics like that when they're doing super well, but it's not uncommon for them to just go silent when things are headed downhill, because they don't want to reveal to the public that they're on the decline. It's bad for business, bad for investors, and honestly, it's just bad for the public. Because that kind of thing puts this negative thought in the minds of players. I mean, no one wants to play a game that they think no one else cares about. And of course, this kind of conversation always starts up this mass panic of, oh my god, the game is dying, League of Legends is dying, everybody abandon ship, which I think is pretty stupid in the first place, mostly because the idea that a game is dying is such a ridiculous word choice when the rate of a game's growth slows down. And even if the player base goes down overall, the number of people who play League is so freaking big that saying the game is going away or using that word dying is just ridiculous. The word dying implies that it's going to be gone or forgotten sometime soon, and there's no way League of Legends will be dead in at least 10 years for sure, if not more. The existing player base is enough to self-sustain the game for so much time, and the game is still growing in some parts of the world too. I mean, they're opening up new servers in Japan and stuff like that. League isn't dying, and it's not going to be dead until it's on the very last legs with less than 1 million players. However, this trend of stats leads us to believe that the game might have peaked, in the sense that for the first time ever, League of Legends is no longer growing. It doesn't mean that it can't grow again in the future, just that it's not growing right at this very moment. And it's reasonable to assume that something is a little bit fishy just because Riot hasn't released any new stats. In 2014, League of Legends was projected to be at around 90 million active players by now if the game had continued on its path of explosive growth. And if that's the case, Riot probably would have shared stats about it and told everyone and made a huge deal out of it. Because that kind of thing is amazing press and publicity for the player base, for investors, for everyone involved in the game really, in any way at all. But the fact remains that they haven't. And although we don't have an official update from Riot, we do have an announcement from someone else actually. Lu Wenjun is the general manager of VC Gaming, a huge esports organization in China, with teams across multiple games and whose league team is actually the team with Dandy, Easyhoon, and Vasily on it. In late 2015, Mr. Wenjun had a conference where he discussed the esports industry and such in it, and in that conference he claimed that League of Legends had 64 million active players. Now, I'm not sure exactly how reliable this source is, since it's not officially from Riot, but you can be sure that this guy does have solid connections with Tencent, the company that owns Riot and distributes it in China, and it's very possible that he was given the information. In the same conference, he brought a ton of other statistics for other games and sales and such, and I'm certain he wouldn't make specific claims without some sort of assurance to back it up. So I'd be very surprised if Mr. Wenjun had simply made a mistake or something. That number of 64 million is 3 million less than the 67 million number that was reported by Riot in 2015. So if that's true, it means that League of Legends is losing active players. And it's definitely not impossible. I mean, competitive viewership is starting to show declines in Season 6. I mean, the LCS gets much less viewers than it once did. And it's obvious that League isn't growing as much as it once was. So the fact that League of Legends could be losing players overall is very possible, and all signs from Riot point towards that being the case. Otherwise, you would have expected them to have released new stats on the player base by now. One major problem League of Legends has that contributes to this is the fact that it's unbelievably difficult for a new player to start playing the game. If you were to start playing League by yourself without any help from other people, it would take you probably 3, maybe 4 months of playing almost every single day just to not be a beginner anymore. And even then, it's still a mountain of a learning curve from there. The tutorial and new player tools Riot has in the game are pretty much just all a total joke. So that certainly isn't helping, and Riot only fixed the leveling system very recently so that players don't have to wait forever until they can fully unlock runes and masteries finally. People usually join because their friends get them to, or because maybe one of their friends specifically teaches them how to play, so it's a very sink or swim kind of experience for the entire player base. If lots of people are joining the game, lots more are going to be joining the game with them, and if not that many are joining, then there won't be too many friends being brought in either. As a result, we get this huge explosive growth when everything is going great, but with the possibility of a decline looming for quite some time now. Now that League of Legends is over 6 years old, it's been long enough to the point where some older players are just kind of bored of the game, honestly. They've played it for so long that they just want to move on, and that's to be expected with any game, but if new players aren't joining to replace them, that's when you really start to see a decline. Anytime a game is peaked or people start to say that it's dying or whatever, one comparison that I really like to look at is World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft has definitely peaked. It's not that much to argue. The player base right now is less than half of what it was in its prime, and although the game is extremely successful and still has a lot of players, it's likely never going to return to the glory days. When World of Warcraft was in its prime, there were so many games that would be coming and going, where people would say like, oh my god, this game's gonna be a WoW killer, or this game's gonna kill World of Warcraft. But that just never happened. The only thing that happened that caused World of Warcraft to decline was the decline in the entire MMO genre. World of Warcraft declined based on people losing interest with MMOs altogether, and I think you can look at League and MOBAs in the same way, since game genres, they come and they go. They fall and rise in popularity, and since League is the biggest MOBA, it's comparable to how World of Warcraft was the biggest MMO. In the end, it's not really a question of if League of Legends has peaked, it's a question of whether the entire MOBA genre has peaked. I wouldn't be surprised if very soon Riot starts doing things to address this concern actually, and honestly there's a lot they could do to garner more players into the game. In the past, they didn't really do anything at all because, well, they just didn't have to, but now it might make a difference. Things like remaking the tutorial, adding new tutorials, and improving the new player learning curve as much as they can, maybe extra rewards, maybe some mini training game modes or something. As well, they can also revamp the referral system to make it powerful and meaningful to where people are going to care about it again. And honestly, maybe just like some advertising and marketing and making video guides for beginners to put in the client and doing like deals for new players and stuff. Like I see that in games a lot, like join now and you get X, Y, and Z or something. I mean, those are just like random thoughts. I'm sure there's much more on top of that too. It's really, you gotta give the game hype again. That's really all it takes. I mean, we see that with World of Warcraft, like every other year. Giving the game hype through new content is a great way to get older players to come back, and generate hype for newer players to join too. However, one thing I can say from first-hand experience that points towards League of Legends not having peaked is that the online community outside of the direct game is larger than ever. The League of Legends YouTube community is growing more than it ever has, and community involvement is higher than ever. Now, whether or not that's directly related to the player base, you really can't say for sure, as there's probably some underlying factors that have caused that, but I personally can say without a doubt that this is the largest the League of Legends YouTube community has ever been, and it's still growing more than ever in terms of viewers and subscribers. And I'm not talking about just my channel. So shout out to you guys, the viewers, for being here. You guys are awesome. But it's not impossible that League of Legends has peaked, and honestly it's probably even likely. But the fact remains that League of Legends is going to be around for a long time. Riot is fantastic at releasing content non-stop. We get a patch every 2 weeks, which is unprecedented for a PvP game like League of Legends of its scale. This game is loads of fun, and Riot does a great job of mixing up the meta and changing everything a few times a season to keep things interesting. League of Legends changes a lot, and that's great. Riot does a lot of things to keep the meta fresh. I honestly have been enjoying League a ton recently, and so regardless of what the numbers say, League of Legends has definitely not peaked in my heart. And that's just about it. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.